A date is just in a friendship stage and you're trying to get to know that person. You could either get to know them, or of course you're interested in them, so you're like kind of attracted to them. So of course, I think you're attracted to them physically first, like they're cute and stuff, so you ask them on a date and you want to get to know them more, to know their personality. You know, it could be going to the movies, dinner, anything that gets to know the other person more.
People date because they want to have someone next to them to talk to and be open about. And you know, there's some things you can't tell your friends, and some things you can't tell your parents, and some things you can't tell, like, you know, certain people, but that certain person you can tell everything to. And the purpose of dating is also getting to know that other person.
I think you should, when you're old enough to realize like what not to do and what to do, like when you know when you're doing something bad or something good, like at that point you should be able to like be smart enough to make like the good decisions. And at the same time, like you can be like young enough like to know, actually no, you can be old enough to know what these things are, but at the same time you can be young enough to not care about it still. But to be like seriously dating, I think you should be at an age like in which like you really understand like what you're gonna go through, like some of the consequences and some of the issues that might be brought up, and to be handling it in a mature way. So at the point where like you feel like you handle things more maturely is the point where you should be able to start dating. So yeah, no specific age, just whenever you feel like.
No specific age.
Yeah.
Okay.
For pros, I would say the good thing is, well, as a Christian, the good thing about dating is getting that person closer to God and having him or her to be able to have a relationship with God. And firstly, in dating, you should be able to have a relationship with God first, and then you can have a relationship with your spouse or with your girlfriend or boyfriend. And the other good thing is that both of you can help each other get closer to God. And yeah, and so the cons, the bad things, basically the lust and the pleasure that we're placed upon, and sometimes we have to think about God first before we do that. And because God is a jealous God, and sometimes He'll get jealous of what kind of love we're giving out to other people.
If I weren't a Christian, I would probably look for a guy who's like into gang stuff, like a bad boy kind of guy, because that's what girls, mainly girls who are non-Christians, are attracted to, because I see a lot of it. As a Christian, I would look for a guy who fears God, who is very in love and very involved in youth and in church. Someone who has a strong relationship with God.
I don't really know much about relationships, but I think that that to be a good spouse is to learn to ask advice from our parents, ask about certain things that we're not sure of. Like being in a relationship, we should ask what to do and what not to do, because they will guide them and they will guide us, and they will mold us in becoming into a good spouse in the future. Having proper guidance and developing strong open relationship with our parents is a training to be a good spouse. Everyday experiences is also one of the things that molds us to be a good spouse. I believe that the best training to be a good spouse is through the lessons learned from the experiences that we have gone through. The lessons learned from the past relationships and from other people's relationship. Being exposed to the real world trials and handling problems is a training to be a good spouse. Learning lessons from the everyday trials makes us strong to carry the responsibility to be a good spouse. Being patient and understanding with our partner is also key to be a good spouse.